Picture a perfect summer day. The sun is shining, you're relaxing outdoors, and someone offers you a big, juicy, ice-cold slice of watermelon. For most people, that's pure bliss.
But for millions living with diabetes, that blissful moment is instantly clouded by a question. Can I eat this? Is this just a giant slice of sugar waiting to wreck my blood glucose levels for the rest of the day? That single question can turn a simple pleasure into a source of anxiety.
Welcome to the Healthy Food to Eat podcast, the show that dives deep into the science behind your food to give you clarity, not confusion.
We're not here to give you simplistic eat this, not that lists. We're here to unpack the evidence, explore the nuance, and empower you with the knowledge to make confident decisions. Today, we're tackling one of the most debated fruits in the diabetic community, watermelon. Is it really the sugar bomb it's made out to be?
The fear around watermelon is understandable. It's incredibly sweet, and we're conditioned to associate sweetness with sugar, and sugar with blood sugar spikes. And if you look at one specific metric, that fear seems justified.
You're talking about the Glycemic Index, or GI. Let's start there because it's the source of most of the confusion. As a refresher, the GI is a 0 to 100 scale that measures how fast a carbohydrate food raises your blood sugar.
Exactly. And watermelon has a high glycemic index, typically rated somewhere between 72 and 80. A score over 70 is considered high. So based on that number alone, you would conclude that watermelon is a bad food for diabetics. Case closed. But if that were true, this would be a very short podcast episode. Clearly, there's more to the story. This is a perfect example of why looking at a single number in nutrition can be incredibly misleading. We can't just look at the speed of the sugar, we have to look at the amount.
This brings us to the single most important concept for understanding watermelon, and frankly, most fruits and vegetables, the glycemic load, or GL. If the GI is the speedometer, the GL is the whole trip computer.
Let's break that down because this is a game-changing concept. How is glycemic load calculated and what does it tell us? The glycemic load takes the GI value, multiplies it by the amount of carbohydrate in a standard serving, and then divides it by 100. It gives you a much more accurate real-world picture of a food's actual impact on your blood sugar. A GL of 10 or less is low, 11 to 19 is medium, and 20 plus is high.
So it's not just how fast the car goes, but also how much gas is in the tank. Let's apply this to watermelon. It has a high GI, the car is fast, but what about the carb content?
This is the key. Watermelon is over 90% water. It's literally in the name. A standard 1 cup, about 150 grams, serving of diced watermelon only contains about 11 to 12 grams of carbohydrates. So when you do the math, a high GI multiplied by a low amount of carbs, you get a very low glycemic load.
What's the number?
The glycemic load for a 1 cup serving of watermelon is only about 4 to 5. That's incredibly low. For comparison, a serving of oatmeal has a GL of around 13, and a baked sweet potato is around 17.
That is a stunning difference. So while the sugar in watermelon is absorbed quickly, high GI, there's so little of it in a normal serving that its overall impact on your blood sugar is minimal, low GL. Here's a question for our listeners. Have you ever been told to avoid a food based on its GI alone? This example shows why GL is often the more useful number for making real-life decisions.
So we've established that in moderation, watermelon isn't the sugar bomb we fear. But the story gets even better. It's not just not bad, it contains specific compounds that can be actively beneficial for people with diabetes. Let's talk about its brilliant red color.
That color comes from lycopene, a powerful antioxidant. We often associate it with tomatoes, but watermelon is actually one of the richest sources available, especially when it's fully ripe.
And why should someone with diabetes care about lycopene? Because diabetes is considered a pro-inflammatory state, and people with diabetes are at a much higher risk for cardiovascular disease. Lycopene is a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory agent. Studies suggest it can help improve blood vessel function, reduce bad LDL cholesterol oxidation, and lower blood pressure, which are all critical for heart health.
So eating watermelon could be a way to help protect your heart, which is a major concern in diabetes management. That's a huge benefit. But there's another, lesser-known compound in watermelon that's incredibly exciting, right?
Yes, and it's an amino acid called L-Citrulline. Watermelon is the single richest known dietary source of it. Your kidneys convert L-citrulline into L-arginine, another amino acid, which then produces a molecule called nitric oxide.
Nitric oxide. That sounds familiar. What does it do?
Think of nitric oxide as a natural relaxant for your blood vessels. It helps them to widen and be more flexible, which improves blood flow and lowers blood pressure. For people with diabetes, who often struggle with high blood pressure and poor circulation, this is a profound benefit. Some research has even explored L-citrulline's potential role in improving insulin sensitivity.
We mentioned earlier that watermelon is over 90% water. We often gloss over hydration, but for someone with diabetes, it's not a minor detail, is it?
It is absolutely critical. When blood sugar levels are high, the body tries to get rid of the excess glucose through urination, which can lead to dehydration. Dehydration, in turn, makes the blood more concentrated, causing blood sugar levels to rise even further. It's a vicious cycle.
So, staying properly hydrated helps your kidneys function and can help dilute the glucose in your bloodstream, making it easier for your body to manage.
Exactly. Eating water-rich foods like watermelon is an excellent and enjoyable way to contribute to your overall hydration status. It's not a substitute for drinking water, but it's a fantastic supplement, providing both fluids and valuable electrolytes like potassium.
And potassium is another key player here, right? It's important for blood pressure regulation, working in opposition to sodium.
That's right. So when you eat a slice of watermelon, you're getting hydration, electrolytes, and powerful phytonutrients all at once. It's a multitasking food.
Managing diabetes can feel complicated. What to eat? What to avoid? Make it simple with the Ultimate Diabetes Diet Bundle. This printable PDF is an instant download, giving you everything you need to succeed. You'll get a complete 30-day diabetic meal plan to end decision fatigue, a clear diabetic food list so you always know your best options, 120 delicious diabetic-friendly snack ideas, a ready-to-go diabetic grocery list to make shopping a breeze. Stop stressing and start thriving. Click the link to get your instant download today.
Okay, the science is clear. Watermelon can be part of a healthy diabetic diet. Now for the most important part, the practical application. How do we do it right? Let's start with portion size.
This is non-negotiable. The low glycemic load is based on a standard serving, which is about 1 cup of diced watermelon, or a wedge that's about 1 inch thick. It's not a license to eat half a melon in one sitting.
So mindfulness is key. What's the second rule? We've talked about this with other carbs.
Never eat it alone. The PFF rule, pairing carbs with protein, fat, and fiber, is especially useful here. While watermelon's GL is low, you can blunt any potential glucose rise even further by pairing it.
Give us some examples. What does a smart watermelon snack look like?
A classic and scientifically sound combination is a watermelon and feta cheese salad. The feta provides protein and fat, drizzle a little olive oil and add some mint, and you have a perfect snack. Another great option is to have a handful of nuts, like pistachios or almonds, alongside your slice of watermelon. The protein, fat, and fiber in the nuts will dramatically slow down carbohydrate absorption.
That sounds delicious. What about the worst case scenario? What should we absolutely avoid?
Watermelon juice. Juicing removes all the beneficial fiber, concentrates the sugar, and makes it incredibly easy to consume a huge amount very quickly. A glass of watermelon juice will have a much higher glycemic load and will almost certainly spike your blood sugar. Always choose the whole fruit over the juice. To really empower our listeners, it's helpful to place watermelon in context. How does it stack up against other common fruits?
Let's start with berries. Blueberries, strawberries, raspberries. These are often called the superstars for diabetics. Why is that?
Berries have the best of all worlds. They are low in carbs, packed with fiber, and have a very low GI and GL. They are probably the safest fruit choice and can be eaten a bit more freely. A cup of strawberries has a GL of only 3.
What about an apple or a banana?
An apple is another great choice. It's full of soluble fiber, which slows digestion, and has a low GI and a low GL of about 6. A banana is a bit trickier. It's more carb-dense and has a higher GI-GL, around 12 to 15, depending on ripeness, than berries or watermelon. So portion control, like eating only half a banana, is more critical.
So if we were to rank them on a friendliness scale, it might be something like berries at the top, followed by apples and watermelon, eaten with proper pairing, and then being more cautious with things like bananas, grapes, and tropical fruits like mango and pineapple.
That's a very reasonable framework. It's not about good versus bad, but about understanding the carb density and planning accordingly.
So, after this deep dive, let's answer the question we posed at the start. Is watermelon bad for diabetics?
The answer is a clear and resounding no. It is not bad for diabetics. In fact, when eaten correctly, it can be incredibly beneficial. The fear of watermelon is a classic case of nutritional misinformation, born from looking at only one data point, the GI, instead of the whole picture, the GL, fiber, water content, and phytonutrients.
This is the core of a healthy relationship with food, especially when managing a condition like diabetes. It's about moving from fear and restriction to knowledge and empowerment. No single food will make or break your health. It is the overall dietary pattern, portion control, and smart food pairings that truly matter.
All right, let's summarize the key takeaways from our deep dive into watermelon. First, look at the glycemic load, not just the glycemic index. Watermelon has a high GI, but a very low GL, meaning a standard portion has a minimal impact on blood sugar.
Second, portion control is paramount. Stick to about 1 cup or a 1-inch thick wedge per serving.
Third, never eat it naked. Always pair watermelon with a source of protein and healthy fat, like nuts, seeds, or cheese, to further stabilize blood sugar. And always choose the whole fruit, never the juice.
And finally, embrace the hidden benefits. You're not just eating sugar and water. You're getting heart-protective lycopene, blood pressure-lowering L-Citrulline, and hydrating potassium.
We hope this episode has given you the confidence to enjoy this wonderful summer fruit without fear. If you found this deep dive helpful, please subscribe to the Healthy Food to Eat podcast so you never miss an episode. And we'll leave you with a challenge. Next time you're enjoying a slice of watermelon, try one of our pairing suggestions. Have it with a handful of walnuts or some feta cheese and see how you feel. Notice the difference it makes. Let us know how it goes. Thanks for listening.